this wonderful show, Why I Am Not Yet Married, with the lead pastor of the Lord Grace Provinces, in the person of Prophet Joel Atuma. How are you doing, sir?
Very nice, thank you.
Okay, sir. I know you're one of the realest and coolest men of God in town. I've heard so much about you.
Thank you so much.
And I've heard also that your church is one of the fastest rising churches. I'm so happy and I'm proud of that.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. So I know you've been facing so much pressure lately on the issue of your marriage or your marital status.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. So I want to know, how has ministry been without your Mrs. Right by your side?
Well, the first thing that we need to understand is what the definition of ministry is to each and every one of us. To everyone that is called based on the level of your knowledge, wisdom, and the understanding. And I can also see the model you have chosen to follow, which entails your spiritual covering, your role models, helps you to define what ministry is all about. When ministry was about to kickstart 2018, I was so much worried because everybody was telling me, without a woman by your side, you're not going to be able to make it. It's going to be challenging. You have a lot of single ladies who are not really members, but they are around for their personal gains and interests. So my mentor said to me, he said, Joel, go and marry the church. Let the church be your wife. He gave me his own stories, and those were the foundations and the building blocks of what I understood ministry to be. Now, we need to understand that ministry is not really in a situation where there is dependency on the side of the woman. The woman is just the supporting factor, not just in ministry, but in your personal life. So anybody can do the job of that support, whether a man or a woman, so long as that support system, it's a responsibility based off. So anybody can actually do that in terms of the structure, in terms of what you want to achieve in ministry. Now, I know that having someone that is your wife around you, the person's most dependent job for me is to create an emotional balance. And if there are ways where you can set up structures, you can set up systems that is able to produce that emotional balance for you, then it's not dependent. The success of the ministry is not dependent, because ministry is called to service. So anybody that has understood what ministry is, that is called to service, then it gives you a rethinking that it is not marriage to service, it's called to service. A man is called, and when that calling happens, for example, our Lord Jesus Christ, if you had studied him very well, he had females around him. Those were the structures he built to provide those needs, and there was no time we had in the scripture that Jesus was married, yet he fulfilled his calling, he fulfilled his ministry. All he did was to provide a structure for himself that was a very strong structure that enabled him to be able to do the things he is supposed to do, to perform his duties. We have the likes of Mary Magdalene, we have the likes of Mary, we have the likes of Martha, that they were there to make sure that those needs that Jesus needed females to do were important. And you needed to understand that you can have a wife and yet she's not ministering to the ministry. Because it's when people are explaining what ministry is, that there must be that thought that you need to understand, why was I called? Jesus was called, and then they gave him a ministry, go and fulfill the ministry. Women were there, but they were not his wives. So understanding what ministry is helps you to know where the duty of a woman comes.
Okay, sir, thank you so much for that. Now, this scripture says that it's not good for a man to be alone.
Yes.
So I believe you have your values, you have your life goals, you have where your interest is. So have you really found this person that fits into these things, like someone who shares these values with you, your life goals, the interest? Like, have you seen anybody or even perceive?
Is it personal values? Now you're talking about I have personal values, I have ministry values, I have spiritual values, I have a family value.
So all of them, sir.
To find someone who is going to fit into all those things rationally might be impossible, but you can have somebody who can adapt. Our major characteristics that makes us distinguish from other species is the human nature and ability to adapt to circumstances. If we're able to adapt to circumstances and understand that life changes and life evolves. For example, if you look at the core values, last 15-20 years from ministers of the gospel who have gone ahead of us, if you check the values, the woman might not necessarily stay in front of a camera like this to have interview sections and all that. The ministry is evolving, but today we are now in the age of internet and media based, and there is a lot to now do. Now, the values that a man had 20 years ago, it's not the same value he's going to have in ministry. You know, when we grew up, they take us to church and all we do is clap. Nobody knows about sound systems. Nobody knows about lighting system. Nobody knows much about decorations, you know. But now, if your stage is not that attractive, if the lighting system needs to be catchy, because that is the present age that we are in right now, and there must be that understanding of what the values are. So, are you taking up the values for today? Are you taking up the values for tomorrow? You can get someone who fits into the values today, but is this person going to be able to fit into the same values by next 10 years, next 15 years, and next 20 years if Christ tarries? So that shake up creates an imbalance when you try to now begin to make a choice who comes into your values. So more or less of the values, I am more interested in the person's ability to evolve. Because if the person is able to evolve with the changing circumstances, with the changing demands of what ministry entails and what her office entails, then she's able to evolve, she's able to change, she's able to adapt, she's able to grow, she's able to develop. There's never been a point where someone will get to and they say this is a benchmark where you cannot develop further. So when there is someone who has the capacity and ability to, you know, begin to develop, begin to change and begin to evolve, then of course that person becomes the person that you should be looking at for marriage. But until then, you cannot actually say this is my core values. You stereotype it, number one, number two, number three. As important as those things are, you will be creating a lot of problems for yourself, because the person that suits it into it today might not be. For example, you're a certain ministry, and then you said, oh, this lady knows how to manage, she's very good in managing. What if at the point of abundance, the person who can manage cannot get into abundance? What happens? Because there's a possibility that you get married today and the church is about 400, 500 capacity auditorium, and where you can, you know, the people that you are pastoring is about that number. Now, it grows from 500 to 50,000. Now, this person has to understand that among the 50,000, at least 20,000 are going to be females. If she is uncomfortable with the number of females that you are commanding under your jurisdiction, she was comfortable when they were 100. Is she going to be comfortable when they are 20,000? So you see that you have to checkmate a lot of things. That's why I said the most important thing is the ability of the person, you know, to evolve. And once the person can be able to evolve, develop, and then follow the changing trends, then of course you can move.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. I'm really learning. So, sir, your current marital status now, what influenced it? Why are you currently single?
I would say vision. Vision drives me. Vision moves me. Every day of my life, I check my picture. That picture is my mental picture. Where am I going to? Where am I from where I'm going to? It's not as if you know, it's not that the church at this point, we're trying to get a property for ourselves, a land for ourselves, where the church can build, you know, a structure that belongs to us, where we don't have to get into payment of rent and all that. Then it gives us a space. I can't push in, I can't factor into a woman's life right now and say, okay, I'm going to get married and all that. who are you getting married for? Is the church. Now the church needs you more than ever. The church needs me 100%. The church needs me 101%. I am not going to create the distraction, because the moment you say you're going to get married now in church, it creates a lot of imbalance in departments. It creates a lot of imbalance, because the focus will be, oh, Papa wants to get married. So as a man of God, you need to, timing is very important. God is not going to plan for you. That's why he gave you the mental faculty. So you are going to make use of, the Bible says wisdom is profitable to what? To direct. So what is directing you should be wisdom. And the wisdom of the thing right now is that the land is paid for. You get a structure for God. That is a stabilization now. You've given the church a base. Structurally, you've given the church a base. Mentally, you've given the church a base. Now the church has a room to develop. Now we can now start talking about getting married, because right now, if you do that, it's not a wise decision. So I would say, on a large scale, vision. You have to wake up in the morning and start running. The Gaza wants to outrun the slowest lion. The fastest lion wants to outrun the slowest Gaza. And if you fail to run, you become a prey. And when you're a prey, you're killed. And you don't want that. Visions can die. I believe so much that visions can die. You might have a very big vision, but what are the choices? What are the you make decisions, but consequences are handed over to you.
Yes.
So I would say it's vision. Yeah.
Okay, sir. So do you believe in this, the right time and the right person? There is this right woman for me. There is a one specially made by God for me. Do you believe?
No. I don't believe in that. What I believe in is, what does the person believe in? It's not about being the Mrs. Right, or this is the perfect time for me to do this. There's never going to be a perfect time. That's the truth about the matter. But then, I have come to the realization that 70% is the duty of whomever to be the one to say, we can do this, because you are calculating a lot. You are, for myself, I am more of a logical person than an emotional person. So you are calculating a lot. You are doing a lot of pluses and a lot of minuses. Now, there are people who should fall into that category. But for you to single out one person, I will repeat again, that's adaptability quotient must be very high, because you can get someone, the person is Mrs. Right today, the person is not Mrs. Right tomorrow. So you have to be sure that the excesses of this person, the mistakes of this person, the errors of this person, the weaknesses of this person is something you can live with, is something you can accommodate, and is something that does not have the ability to distort the vision. Because you cannot say the vision, if you can't get married to anybody, it can thwart the vision and scatter it. So the perfect time is when the perfect person comes. And the perfect person is the person with adaptability quotient that is very high, that is able to evolve and change.
Okay. In areas of your lifestyle, your finances, and your future plans, how important is compatibility?
Oh, it's a very key factor, because the moment you mentioned finance, that's a very, very strong factor, because I will always say marriage needs money to survive.
Exactly.
And finance is a very strategic area that needs not just management, but initiative for maintenance, initiatives for sustainability. Now, if you are going into marriage, you have to check the individual. Are both of you compatible? What I mean by compatibility of finances now is a materialistic person, you should know if the person is materialistic during the relationship. When both of you are cutting, you should be able to know, is she materialistic? Is she somebody that has a high test and all that? Because that's why I go back again to the vision. There is somebody that can come in 2 years' time and is able to say, okay, I know that the money is there, but I also know that we have to build something. The vision is there.
Yes.
There is somebody that will say, I don't care about what I'm talking about. I am the ministry. I should be taken care of first. I should be looked after. The money should be spent on me. I need to look nice and beautiful. Now, the issue of understanding of where the church is going to and where the development is tilting towards comes in, because if she fails to understand that the money at home is the money of God that should be spent for the kingdom purposes, it's not ruling out the fact that there should not be, money for her to take care of herself, maintain the house, maintain the kitchen, and all that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that compatibility in spending has to be checked. Let's say at the end of the month, let's say you can give the personality, okay, give her 50,000, and then you also take 50,000, and then at the end of the month, both of you have a roundtable meeting where you can checkmate and say, okay, how much do you have out of the 50,000 I gave you? Now you present a result of how much you also have out of your own 50,000. Then what did you use the 50,000 naira to do? Now, when you check that expenses and check your own, I always believe in Venn diagram. There has to be a match. You check the point of intersections where the things you spent money on and the things she spent money on are looking alike. Now, if, for example, I checked my own, I used 30,000 to buy books, I used 10,000 for data, that's 40,000. I used 10,000 naira for prophet seeds of my spiritual father, and then we checked your own. You use 25,000 naira for GDK and Mary Kay's. You now use 10,000 naira for eye pencil, lipstick, and fixing of nails. You now use 25,000 naira, which means you're on deficit already. You now use 25,000 naira to buy the latest we've that's a red flag. We are not compatibly spending. So it's a very, very serious red flag, because and when I take my own, I use my own for development and use your own to be, look good and look dashingly and gorgeously, mesmerizingly and bewitchingly pretty. When after looking at that you're pretty, you do not add anything to your head. What it means is that the church money you are going to get will be for nails. And of course, you are going to tell me the money I gave you, manage this money. You will not tell me, well, okay, I was trying to, there was a pastor's daughter I was talking to, and the red flag that made me pack my load and I ran with my legs touching my head. She came into the church. We are still at the first site, and the church started, it was the time the church started gaining one leg. And then she came in and said I should give her money. I said I don't have any money to give you. She said I should show her my account. I showed her my account. The money was there. She said, what do I mean? That okay, that all the prayers she has been praying, where is the money? That this money, what is it for? I said, this money is church money. We can't touch it. She said, no, that church has an account. I said, no, this is my money, but we have to use it to develop this church. She said, how about her? So that kind of a person is a red flag. And whenever you try to show me anything that you are going to compete with God tomorrow in my life, we'll check another day. So I think that's a very, very serious issue to consider. That you see that finance part. In fact, it's like we need to even come back and do a discussion on financial compatibility. It's very, very important. And another thing is, I'm giving an offering of social amount. Maybe I'm giving 20,000, and you're giving 200. We are not compatibly financially, together, because the Bible says wherever the heart of a man is where his treasure is. So you should be able to give more and dress less for now. Imagine me using church money now because maybe the church is trying to stand, doing well little by little. God is helping us. We are building. Then I use to go and buy Prado Jeep. Then I will say the church is not now growing. You will now be entering Prado Jeep. No. Birthday, I'm under pressure. Valentine that I don't know about, I'm under pressure. Christmas is coming, I'm under pressure. Easter is coming, I'm under pressure. It's a problem. You run and pack your load and go. So, but when the person understands, okay, this guy is trying to build something very important, and you are reading, bringing, I would check our own list. You bought books, I bought books. You sow seed, I sow seed. That's compatibility. So without that, it's going to be very, very challenging. So that's a very, very good question. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
I'm really learning, and I'm seeing that your standards are very high, like very, very high. Your taste is so difficult to find. So, sir, like, I'm seeing other reasons why you're not yet married though than this ones I'm asking you.
Okay.
So you want to tell me that this pastor's daughter that you were actually seeing,
Yes.
she just came in and asked you for money. For what exactly? Like, what was the money for?
No, she was going back to school.
Okay.
No, she's in school and she was going back to school, and she was asking for, I was like, how are you doing? How is school going? She's like, school is fine. That what happened is that there's someone that has money that is actually good in school. So that was where I pinched myself, because I remembered that when I went to school, I knew what I was taking so that I can build capacity. I'm not your father. I'm not yet married to you. Me and you still checking if it will work. There is no agreement anywhere. I have not given you ring, and you're already telling me that this person that has money. No, that's a red flag. Very, very red. In fact, it's left right and turn black. So whatever the money is for, it should be my discretion to see that you have a need.
Okay.
Because one of the key factors of a good relationship is sensitivity.
Yes.
I should be able to sense, okay, you need money once. It's not that it's your right. It's not your right, because me too, I need money.
Yes.
And if you turn to money, I'll use you and buy church land. And then we'll continue the case. But then I need money to go. I need you to understand where I am, knowing that tomorrow is going to be better, knowing that tomorrow is going to be fine. When the church gets successful, our businesses get successful, we develop ourselves, then there are avenues for us to be able to generate this fund you are going to enjoy.
Yes.
So when you eat today's meat, you'll be hungry tomorrow.
Very right. Very right. All right. Thank you so much, sir. I'm really blessed and happy to have you.
All right.
Really happy.
Thank you so
I
much.
learned so much. So, sir, what do you have to say about these ladies that comes to church for marriage?
All right. The first thing is this: you are not going to be able to model the mindset of everyone,
Okay.
because it's an open market. The man is saying it's an open market. They went to try their luck. But what you now do with them is what matters. They come with a mindset. Remember the word mindset, which means is a mind that is set.
Yes.
So when they come in, the first thing you have to do is try to reset the mind. Now, trying to reset the mind is trying to tell them that they want more through your teachings, through seminars, through engaging them in the workforce, and they are understanding their potentials, discover their leadership. Now they know that there is a lot they have, rather than looking for the hand of a man in marriage. Now they also know that in them building themselves, they become more marketable, because when your interest is the man, you lose your value. But when you maintain your value, build yourself, develop, you give a chance for success. It's just like someone that prophecy came to and they said you're going to be blessed, God is going to make you a mighty man of valor. You went home and started sleeping. That company that is inside of you is never going to find expression. So, but when you understand that the set man, what he's looking for is quality, you understand that the set man, what he's looking for is sensitivity, the good nature, the aura, and that. Now, you need to also understand, like, I tell my girls, I tell them, I'm not the best man. I'm not the best man. I'm not the best man on earth. There are people more better than me. There are people more advanced than myself. Now, if they are able to build themselves, they are not restricted or limited to myself. That's very important to let them know, because they might think it's all about you, it's all about you, it's all about you, it's all about. But when you broaden their exposure and allow them to see the bigger picture of what they can become outside of you, having you, another key factor is when they come with the mindset of marriage, you give them the mindset of spiritual covering. Now you let them understand that there is something God embedded in them that they can be able to achieve outside you, but having your spiritual covering, having your spiritual intelligence, guiding them, you make them see what they are not seeing. Because it's a mindset. They just came to the church because it's something that is normal, that once you see a single person and is not married, he has a church or even a company, you see ladies having the tendency to daydream,
Yes.
visualize,
Yes.
revelationalize. Now, when they come with all their revelation, I've had people send me messages, etc. You try to, some of them are going to eventually leave because they are desperate. Some of them are eventually going to say things that are not real because they didn't get what they want. That's okay. But there are other few that can be transformed, renewed, and then given a mental picture. Now, that mental picture helps in transforming them. And when that transformation occurs, you benefit from them. So it is the duty of the set man to do that job of transformation. It is what you give to them is what they're going to take home. So you start from day one and start letting them know that it's not going to be them. When you give them that mindset that it's not going to be them, then tell them what they can do to upgrade themselves, help them develop themselves, push them to their limit. They are able to break the bounds and the limitations of what they are seeing. They see the bigger picture. It's possible that it's not even the set man, but someone else. Now they know that their market value has increased. They are not now restricting themselves to one person. They are not now saying it must be the set man, it must be the senior pastor. No. Now they are saying they understand what marriage is. They understand that, okay, I might be much better without a man of God. Once they start and understanding that picture, you have been able to build a men of valor out of men that have been casted out of the city, just like David did. And they become more important and relevant to what God is doing with you.
Thank you so much, sir. Currently, are you looking forward to getting someone from the church you want to get married to?
I don't have, like I said, I believe my marriage is going to be something that's just going to happen like that.
Okay.
I'm not looking for, I am not thinking towards it. We'll keep moving, we'll keep developing, we'll keep getting better. We'll keep giving ourselves a good chance to be successful in what God has called us to do. The marriage thing will happen. It's God and it is God. When it comes and the right office, that marriage is an office, because for me, she's the chief of staff. So when it comes around, you will know it is this office, and that will be that.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. So please, my beautiful audience, don't forget to drop your questions in the comment section. Now you've seen that it's not just marriage. There are certain things you're supposed to look out for before you get married. So we have come to the end of this session. And don't forget to drop your questions in the comment section, as the prophet will be back to attend to these questions. And this was a very, very educative moment.